A man from town, Mr. Hughes said, "I know people shouldn't take the law into their own hands, but it's times like this that do make you want to retaliate." Furious to find that the tin had been emptied of its contents, somebody must have entered the house, smashed open the tin and stolen the money from inside. The theft was one of 3 incidents to take place in the area last Wednesday, while Mr. Hughes was out shopping with his wife, Mrs. Hughes. He said, "It's pretty low to take money that would otherwise go to a very worthy cause, an organised coach trip to Pwllheli. We called in the police, the dog handlers and forensics to investigate the incident and are currently awaiting the results back from the lab. Although the dog handlers were able to pick up the scent, they weren't able to track the thieves' movements away from the scene. I would urge anyone who has seen anything suspicious in the area to get in touch with us in confidence. We have ways in which we can protect witnesses. Unfortunately, without any witnesses, it is difficult to progress. We would also urge everyone living in the Carnarvon area to keep their possessions under lock and key at all times." A Draed Goch. The procession led by Glenys Griffiths, the voice of the women of Plaid Cymru, a formidable character who combined several careers as a psychiatrist and politician, bringing to each of them a capacity for innovation and for speaking her mind. Her ability to engage with professionals and patients alike with never-failing ease and a mischievous sense of humour. As a leading psychiatrist, her responsibilities ranging from the treatment of the severely disturbed to preparation of evidence for court cases, Ms. Griffiths was certainly a force to be reckoned with. And in 1969, her charisma and enthusiasm carried the day, winning the heart of Neville Williams. And whatever the challenges that confronted her in her personal, professional and political life, there is no doubting the enormous happiness she found in the affair she continues to have with Mr. Williams. Some battles were won, others lost. This was among those that were certainly won. Martha Mawr. Roberto Bach was drawn to Carnarvon, the small town in Wales, to study the oldest language known in Europe, after a chance meeting with Bryn, a lecturer in physics. Roberto later discovered it was a total lie. Bryn was an eccentric alcoholic who would often cry out, "Croeso I Carnarvon." Roberto had fallen into bad company. Bryn, a persuasive man, and Roberto easily led, both regular customers at the Four Alls, which stretches from Hole in the Wall to Palace Street. Martha Mawr, with an infectious smile that would often quote while pouring his favourite ale, "A roll for all, a fight for all, I pray for all, I pay for all, and I take all," followed by, "You little devil, keep away from the demon drink." A lady of substantial size, though no one dared to ask, took a keen interest in Roberto and hoped one day he would take her to his home, the city of Rome, where she dreamed of visiting the famous Colosseum, which he often spoke of with a real passion. An elderly man. 13th of October, a grey afternoon outside the Shoe Zone shop on Paul Street, Carnarvon. An elderly man, while kneeling forward, started pulling clothes out of his shopping bags, placing them in a neat pile on the high street. After a short time, he placed the clothes back into the bags and proceeded to walk towards the public toilets. 10 minutes easily passed before the man came out and crossed the road to Iceland. It was difficult to tell if he had purchased anything. He did not carry an Iceland bag. He looked confused as he began to walk to the nearby bus shelter, where he approached the first bus, Beth Gelert via Waynfawr, and after a short conversation with the driver, as he stood outside the bus, he made his way to the second bus, Rostrevan via Rosgadvan. Almost convinced this time he would board the bus, continuing with the same routine, he became barely visible as he walked slowly up Penllyn Street, passing all the stationary buses until he was no longer in sight. Jaman. Mr. Jones displayed a wanted notice in the window of his local toy store, a detailed description of a young covey, notoriously known for stealing stuffed animals, with a warning, he should be approached with caution. His tide would turn in his grave if he knew of his grandson's behaviour, said Mr. Jones. It's a sad day as he remembered the old man Thomas and the snotty young boy. Without fail, every Saturday afternoon they would visit the store in the lead up to Christmas, the boy fascinated by furry toys, while his tide hoped he would follow suit and eventually learn to appreciate the model train sets. He was a pillar of the community, he continued, and although his 9 tried in vain after her husband's death, the boy showed little respect. There was no hope for the rascal.